Hello friends, happy Wednesday. Today we will be reading chapter 9 of Skeletons Don't Play Tubas from the Adventures of the Bailey School Kids series. But before we do that, we are going to say our Kids on Course motto to get us ready to listen for our question answers. Repeat after me. I am smart. I believe in myself. I am a great kid. I have courage. I deserve to learn. Today is going to be awesome. Alrighty. So we did not have any questions on Friday that had a specific answer, but I did ask you guys to think about how you believe the end of this story will look like, or what you believe the end of the story will look like. And so I'm not going to go over that answer because I hope that you guys talked about it or thought about it, and we will just see what happens because I don't want to give anything away. So I do have 3 new questions for you before we read chapter 9. Question 1. Why should the Bailey School Kids students not be in the school at night? Why should the Bailey School Kids students not be in the school at night? Question 2. Why did the music stop? Why did the music stop? And question 3. Who do they think was holding the tuba? Again, that is, who do they think was holding the tuba? So that way we have those questions to think about. We can go ahead and read chapter 9 called Night School. That evening, dark storm clouds hung low over Bailey City and lightning streaked across the sky. A cold autumn wind rattled the branches of the oak tree, sending withered leaves floating to the ground near the 4 huddled friends. Liza pulled her coat tight about her before she faced Eddie. "Are you sure this is a good idea?" she asked. Melody nodded. "We could get into trouble." "Big trouble," Howie added. Eddie glanced at the dark windows of Bailey Elementary. "We'll be in bigger trouble if we don't. Besides, this is the perfect time." "How do you figure that?" Melody asked. "Listen," Eddie said. Howie, Melody, and Liza stood as still as statues. They heard muffled music floating from the empty building. "Someone is playing the tuba," Eddie said, "and I think it's Claude." Without another word, Eddie stalked across the playground and pulled open the side door to the school. "How did you know it'd be open?" Howie asked. "I knew the janitor would still be here." So you can see them entering the school after dark. Once inside, the 4 friends stopped long enough to let their eyes get used to the dark hall. Thunder made the windows rattle, and drifting clouds cast long shadows on the black and white floor. "We should have brought a flashlight," Liza whimpered. "I have a flashlight," Howie said, reaching into his pocket. "No," Eddie said softly. "We have to surprise him. A flashlight would be like an invitation to a funeral. Our funeral. Now let's go." Carefully, Eddie led his friends down the hallway. Melody walked beside Eddie with Howie close behind. Liza took her time. She didn't like the darkness or the music echoing through the deserted school. The tuba notes sounded like the beating heart of a monster, and they grew louder and louder as the 4 friends got closer to the old science lab. They were almost there when, wham! Liza found herself sprawled on the floor. She screamed just to make sure she was still alive. She had been so busy peering over her shoulder that she hadn't seen the swinging doors sticking out into the hall. Instead of walking around it like her friends, she had crashed right into the door, slamming it shut. Everyone froze. "Shh," Eddie warned. But it was too late. The music stopped, filling the halls of Bailey Elementary with a deadly silence. Melody grabbed Liza's arms and pulled her into a nearby janitor's closet. "She didn't mean to do it," Melody whispered to Eddie as the kids hid. "She should have watched where she was going," Eddie snapped. Liza sniffed and wiped a tear from her cheek, while Howie peeked out of the closet door toward the band room. "Maybe he didn't hear us," Howie suggested. "The door is still closed. Nobody left." "Of course nobody heard," Eddie muttered. "Claude has no body." Melody patted Liza on the shoulder. "We should forget this boneheaded plan and get home," Melody told Eddie, "before Liza's nose starts bleeding." Liza nodded. Her nose often bled when she was upset, and she was plenty nervous right now. I hear Claude coming to get us, she whimpered. Howie slapped his forehead. That was just me cracking my knuckles. Next you'll think Melody's chattering teeth is Claude doing a tap dance. You still don't believe Claude is alive, do you? Eddie asked his friend. Of course not, Howie said. I don't believe in ghouls or zombies or living, breathing skeletons. Then you won't mind walking down that hall and taking a look in the band room? Eddie asked. Howie peeked out of the closet again and down the long hall. It looked like a black mouth waiting to swallow him up, but he wasn't about to let his friend see him scared. I'll go, Howie told him, but you have to come with me and bring the flashlight. Eddie barely nodded. Let's do it. They slipped out of the closet with Melody and Liza right behind them, but there was no music now. The only sound was the thunder rumbling over the Red River. Howie drew a deep breath before pulling open the band room door. There, glowing in the dim flashlight, was Claude, and he was holding the tuba. Run! Howie screamed. At least he tried to scream, but it sounded more like a bullfrog croaking underwater. But his friends knew what he meant, and they tore down the hall like they were racing lightning. This way! Liza screamed. She led her friends around a corner and toward an exit sign. Heavy footsteps echoed behind them. Hurry! Melody gasped. Before that skeleton makes mincemeat out of us. Liza crashed against the door, frantically pushing the handle. It's locked, she cried. The four friends backed against the locked door and faced the long, dark corridor. We have to find another way out, Howie sputtered. It's too late, Eddie said, as the heavy footsteps came closer. And you can see the heavy footsteps are coming toward them. So do you think that's Claude, or could it possibly be somebody else? That is the end of Chapter 9. Before we go, I will give you the questions again, and then you will be free to go on your Wednesday. So, question 1. Why should the Bailey School students not be in the school at night? Question 2. Why did the music stop? And question 3. Who do they think was holding the tuba? That is all that I have for you today, friends. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I will read again on Friday. Bye, everybody.